Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, guys, for clicking in. Thank you for coming back. Yesterday's video was quite loud, I must say. The audio crunk up way further than, I guess we could say our amps went to 11 yesterday. And don't ask me why. Sometimes I get really busy, and I'm hoping I'm not blasting the ear holes out now. For some reason, audio just does what it wants to at times, man, and I blame Bill Gates. And that's the same dude who says we need a computer chip to monitor and control our thoughts. That'll work really well under updates. I could see that just working out great, guys. But okay, so anyways, today's articles are going to be, we're going to laugh a little bit, we're going to cry a little bit, we're going to say WTF a little bit, then we're going to laugh a little bit, we're going to cry, and then we're going to be like WTF a little bit. So that's where we're going with this. But today we're going to show you they medically cleared Mitch McConnell. Biden says he's okay. And we'll look in and see what Pete Booty Juice is up to real quick too, by the way. And like I said, I just want to thank all you guys so much for coming in. And as my computer goes balloon, that means that I'm actually teeing everything up because yes, I'm totally organized and completely ready to do all this when I come on the camera here. Thank you guys so much for checking out the live we did on this other thing that we're doing. That was a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with that. It's in my community post. I'll leave advertisements for it. But it's on a different channel and it's small because we're going to talk about stuff on that usually YouTube would be like, but we're not worried about. We want to build the channel, but if it gets nuked, it's not the biggest deal. And I'm not going to try to nuke the channel, but I will talk about stuff that you normally won't hear. Today, Wayne Root, this is a Wayne Root article, but Tucker is outing Obama as gay, but everyone is missing the big story. I'm Obama's classmate. I've been trying to warn America for 15 years. So let's read a little bit about this. It says, this guy here, I'm Obama's classmate, Columbia University, class of 83. I'm also author of one bestsellers, hardcover book in America. It's 2012, The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide. So I've been Obama's number, he says. I understand what makes him tick. I understand his goals. First, let's get the gay issue out of the way. I've reported on both my radio and TV shows for 15 years that I'm wealthy, connected, friends with Chicago, and friends in Chicago have always said Obama frequented gay bathhouses and gay clubs. His own brother, Obama's a brother, Malik Obama, has been countlessly thrown off of YouTube for saying the same thing. And it's his own brother now. He's like, I'm not lying. The dude wrote notes about banging dudes. By the way, I've got to say allegedly because YouTube just loves for me to not make sure we don't codify, ratify what's going on. By the way, Al Sharpton sold a bunch of cocaine and crack to the neighborhood. I don't have to say allegedly about that because he was convicted in court. That was a big thing. He was back when the CIA and Iran Contra and all that stuff was going on, and they were selling all the crack to the poor neighborhoods so that they could fund a dark side military to create coups and upend governments in other countries. They needed dark money to do so. They made it off of selling drugs, and it all went through the Clintons. And by the way, Gary Webb, rest in peace for exposing all that. Shot himself twice in the head. The first shot didn't get it, so the second was suicide is what they said. Anyhow, going on to say a little more about this, but gay is not the issue. The issue here is the F word, which means what's going on. If Obama is in fact gay, then he was lying to the American people from day one. He portrayed himself as a happily married man with a wife and two beautiful young daughters. That's called fraud. Not, don't YouTube. I'm not talking about what happened in 2020. This is just talking about somebody who fraudulently represents themselves as a candidate for people to be misled into a leadership that's going to be where we're at right now. Okay? Why does any of this matter? Because Joe Biden is a brain-dead puppet. This is the third term of Obama. The proof here is where we're all reliving the nightmare Obama economy. And by the way, sanctions on Africa for not pushing gay marriage. Obama was well known for that. He told Africa, he said, look, I will take all your food and all your good stuff that you need that we're helping to build your country up with, and you're going to starve everybody if you don't start pushing the gay marriage. And then that blew over finally, and of course that sanction went through. Then Biden gets in. Next thing you know, you've got the same thing all over again. Africa's being sanctioned for not pushing the gay marriage, and they don't want to do that. Hey, dude, I'm so blessed to have a wonderful group of customers. And I'm overwhelmed with work, but I don't mind it because the customers are great, and it's a blessing. Thank you, thank you, God up there for giving me the abilities to do such, and taking. And by the way, I used to be a raging alcoholic, really bad many years ago. Not many years ago, but about 10 or 12 years ago, and I've was taken from that. I got it. Not God didn't go, we'll quit drinking, but somehow or another He wired me up so I could be able to negotiate what's right and wrong in my brain and say that this kind of life wasn't sustainable and I needed to do something different. So that's how that all worked out anyway. So he wired me up that I was. That's a real thing. But anyways, this Obama guy. So we know that he's up to no good. He'd be oh, by the way, the darn dude that was this super healthy, I think he was like in his 40s, bodybuilder chef guy who was actually a really good swimmer, but immediately whenever the guy drowned, oh, this guy couldn't swim. He struggled to swim. First of all, anybody that struggles to swim, dang sure ain't gonna be out on no paddleboard floating around. But I can't swim, so I'm gonna get on a paddleboard and go out in the middle of a pond. It's Friday, Anyway, so the dude, man, is supposed to be like I can't swim at all and everything. But then come to find out, whenever it's all said and done, a bunch of videos came out with the dude like doing like all these reps back and forth in an Olympic-sized pool and making pretty good numbers, actually. He was, part of his workout regime was to swim. He really enjoyed doing that. And, oh man. So, working this audio a little bit, just trying to find the sweet spot in it. Please bear with me. There's so many. Okay, so this is an administration of zero scandal, by the way. Right. So we need to have no information needs to be leaked about what happened at the Obama estate with that chef that supposedly just drowned. And by the way, the timeline of when it happened doesn't coincide with the actual level of the water because the water level changes throughout the day. It actually have a low and high tide, if I'm not mistaken. I've heard this. And they said, well, it was 20 feet of water. Then they say 8 feet of water. And come to find out, if you do the timeline right and where the tide changes, the water level was almost where he could stand up and be able to stand up and get air, or at least hop up and down. It wouldn't be his hands would have reached out of the water, so he could have done something. And then on top of that, there was injuries to the body, allegedly. There was no clothes on the dude, allegedly. The clothes were floating somewhere nearby, so that's weird. That's really weird. So, and it was with a female, so it couldn't have been Michelle. It couldn't have been Michelle, but a 20-something-year-old female. What do we have here? Who could have been the you have the employee and you have the employer. So who the banger, or who was the bangee? Huh? Anybody? So that's so we need to stay on top of this because not on top of this, like literally, like the left likes to be on top of things, but like Michelle Obama is going to be announcing her run for presidency right at the very nick of time where it's going to be really hard to run smear campaigns so we can, get the word out about what's really going on, even though a lot of people know about it. But it'd be an easy way for them to calculate the amount of V's necessary and look like it's almost legitimate because there's no way they can pull it off with the brain dead Biden. Now, speaking of legitimately and all this stuff and brain dead this and that and the other, Fani Willis threatens to violate rights of defendants in the Trump RICO case because she's not prepared for trial. By the way, most precise and cares about her job the most and wants to be so just everything perfect hits the send button instead of the save, because you could easily hit send when any computer. Now I'm being a little bit smart. I'm being sarcastic when I say this. If you want to send something off of your computer, you don't just hit send and it goes out. You hit send and it goes to this, and you have to click "Are you sure?" destination. There has to be a place for it to go to send it. So you don't put in the email address or this, that, and the other then to save something. You just don't do that. You click over there, file saved, and when it's time to send it, you click on the file. I know that everybody that messes with the computer, I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't been messing with this for so long. So anybody that doesn't mess with computers needs to understand that hitting the send button is not that easy to send out all those indictments that supposedly were legitimate at the time, which was a serious violation of all kind of stuff, and nobody gets nothing done with it. But earlier this month, Fani Willis hits President Trump and 18 others with RICO conspiracy conspiracy charges for daring to challenge the 2020 election. And there's that phone call that they've chopped up so the mainstream media can play it and make it sound like Trump is saying something totally different when it's totally not it whenever you actually look at the real phone call and hear the real phone call. And there's some of the mugshots of the people, right? Okay, but Sidney Powell and Ken Chesbro invoke their right to speedy trial. However, President Trump wants to delay his trial as requested because of the fact that he's trying to get it. He's doing some campaigning, and they're trying to run everything right there during the campaign stuff, and he's got to do the Super Tuesday. Citing 4 cases, Fani Willis threatened all the defendants after Chesbro and Powell requested speedy trials. By fulfilling the statutory speedy trial demand, the defendants elected by proceed to trial without benefit of type of prior notice of the state's discovery in similar transaction evidence that would be otherwise been afforded to them, Fani Willis said, according to the Messenger. This helps to keep exculpatory evidence off of the ticket there. And here's okay, so this needs to be, I'm a little bit ahead right here, but that's fine, no problem. This will play in it a little bit. Julius Popinga, dead at 17, son of Packers Super Bowl winner, dies. Okay, 17-year-old had a coughing outbreak and his lung collapsed. That's what it says. Julius Popinga, son of Super Bowl dude, dead at 17. His sister confirmed his death, and he had been hospitalized for a severe asthma attack that caused a collapsed lung, according to and then so 17 years old has a severe asthma attack. Now, I know that okay, did we get the sauce? I don't know. We don't know, but this is a 17-year-old that just up and just so, and the causes are going to be kind of bland. But this article ties into, maybe I'm going to get this right here. So I'll get to that in a minute. So remember that 17-year-old. Now, we want to talk about Biden real quick. I want to get this out of the way. Biden actually went on and, let's see if I can get this right here, guys. Yes, I think so. Hit this play here. Check this out.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Where am I going now?
There you go, right this way. Secretary, right this way.
Okay, so he's not knowing where he's going. He's not knowing he's lost. Need to go up a little bit here. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this real quick. Now it's just ties together. Just check it out.
We're in a situation where, we're how can I say it? There's still some deniers out there in terms of whether or not climate change has anything to do with any of this, and we're going to need.
Mayorkas is sitting there like, please don't screw this up. You see the look on his face? It's like he's trying to, you ever seen somebody blow up a balloon and you're watching them and you kind of like automatically start coaching them, trying to go, everybody's done this, but he's trying to mentally inject thoughts into his brain, kind of like what we've seen other people from the backside of things do. They use I'm going to go down a rabbit hole, but there has been entities of the CIA who have experimented with paranormal and telepathy. Okay, got the word out. Telepathy. And there are aspects of our human conscious and our human self that can operate on levels that actually do emanate and vibrate frequency to control or inject thoughts. This is no joke. Now, have I seen this done in real life? We might be watching it right here.
Need a whole hell of a lot more money to deal with emergency appropriations, to deal with all you're taking care of.
After he got done speaking, the look on his face, he's like, whew, okay. And then this happens. Like I say, he comes up and he's like, he doesn't know where after.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Where am I going now?
There you go, right this way. Secretary, right this way.
I'm only showing you this because of the several other things. Mitch McConnell medically cleared to continue work after he freezes up for the second time. And then really bad. In case you haven't seen it. Where was it at? I don't know what I done with it. I can't find it. What is this? Oh, hey, look. Here's more Biden. Did y'all see this? Pete Booty Juice? Watch this.
States President Joe Biden.
Thank you, Secretary Buttigieg.
And now it is my privilege to introduce the president.
Thank you, booty juice. This guy right here is medically cleared to roll on out, too. Look at this.
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
I know we might have
Did you
seen
hear the
this.
question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
She's trying to cut. She's like I said earlier. She's poking some numbers back there, like that Heathkit robot. But she's making that face like she's trying to ventriloquize this dude. Look at this. Come on. Poke my finger in your butthole, and
All right,
you'll
I'm
feel
sorry,
it.
you all. We're going to need a minute.
We're gonna get his hand in there and smell the glove. Smell the glove. Oh gosh, and he's done, man. He's out, and so this dude, and she's got her finger in his bum. You're gonna work. He's okay. He's all right, guys. And Biden even said, "Man, he's just like his old self, you know." We're just two dudes with dementia just hanging out. And not to make fun of dementia, but this is not a good thing. It's not graceful to do this. By the way, the family members are the ones that actually push their fingers for this. They need the money and the clout that comes through these people. New York police to use drones to monitor backyard Labor Day parties. Here we go. This New York police will use drones to monitor backyard Labor Day parties this weekend. Kaz Daughtry, the assistant NYPD commissioner, made the announcement during a security briefing on Yavert on annual Caribbean Festival. Daughtry's plan to use police drones to monitor backyard barbecues got immediate backlash from civil rights liberties group. It's troubling. How are you going to smoke your blunt? You're sitting out there on your little thing on your stoop and you're trying to enjoy yourself. You got Everybody Hates Chris playing in the background. And I've got something to remember. Everybody Hates Chris. Dude, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but if I can get this thing to show up here. This guy, Terry dude. I'll show you. It's on my thing. We'll get there. But I've done lost my place. But anyways, so she says that, how you going to be able, everybody's going to be trying to do their thing, and they're going to blame it. They're using this because of the migrants, I guarantee you. These outdoor parties are the barbecues in New York, and the weekend may notice the uninvited guests looming over their festivities of police surveillance drone. The New York Police Department plans to pilot the unmanned aircraft in response to complaints about large gatherings, including private events over Labor Day weekends. If a caller states there's a large crowd and a large party in a backyard, we're going to utilize our assets to go up and check on the party, Kaz Daughtry, the assistant NYPD commissioner, said from the press conference. Now, this also stems from the fact that you don't own your property. You don't own the house that you're renting or the apartment that you're renting in that area. So that means they have domain over your personal rights because you're using what they have. They're using their stuff. And I need to go to here. I want to show you something. It's right here on my Twitter. Terry, that Terry guy, I can't remember his last name, from Everybody Hates Chris, is going to tell us something that just is absolutely heartbreaking. We'll get there. But so we've got Mitch McConnell stroking out. We've got this draconian like drone-conian stuff. Okay, all right. Now look at this here. Do you see this? It says, okay. And then in the community post or whatever, they get me every time because you tell this ain't what it is. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this right here. Okay, let me get some audio here. Oh, that's never mind. That's Stairway to Heaven. And she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a lady we know. I'll sing it for you so we can have some music in the background. But look at this plane come over. Okay. Okay. Let's look at let me get the picture real big because I want you to read in the context. Okay. Now, let's see here. Let's see. Okay. See that coming out of there? Alrighty. Now, does anybody know anything about condensation trails that come off of jet engines in certain climate? Okay. If anybody does any research on that, these newer style jet motors actually run where they don't do that as much, and it's only done in a certain It doesn't happen as easily as people think it does. Condensation trails don't actually last very long. They don't linger behind the plane any at all. And if you watch later through the video, these things get absolutely huge. You can see that they're cutting off and on things, and so I've got a reason for this. I'm going somewhere with this, okay? And here we are. Here's your wonderful. This is an older video. This is I'm sorry. I jumped ahead too fast. I want to read that. I want to read this right here. Woody Harrelson. The article off. But anyway, so the community notes of the chemtrails, it says, that was condensation off of the aircraft. My things are so close together, I clicked the delete on it. But it talks about, they said that, that's condensation trail that happens whenever the planes are flying, but that's not the case at all. The community notes are completely wrong with that. And so, but like I say, here's your face mask being made. And this is a real thing. So all these face masks that are being made in mass production that come out of these third world countries, they don't have any there you go. I'm just amazed that that's, they're all on the floor. They're stepping on them. Woody Harrelson, an old video. Watch this.
Habit of buying junk fast foods that have no actual food in them. We buy gallons of poisonous household cleaners when one degradable soft soap will do. We are poisoning our homes and wasting our hard-earned money for no good reason. Why? Because the advertising industry tells us to. They just want you to buy stuff. For example, if a company pollutes the environment or uses bad business practices, if you don't buy their stuff, they will change. If you don't want food with chemicals or GMOs in it, then don't buy it. The minute we start taking responsibility and spending our money wisely, every politician, every corporation, and leader around the world is going to know that we have woken up. This is the 21st century. If we use our resources wisely, there's no reason why anyone shouldn't have what they need. There's no reason whatsoever why people are still starving to death on our planet. And the common man or woman, whether they are Israeli or Palestinian, Protestant or Catholic or Iraqi or American, the common man just wants to live in peace and justice in a clean environment.
So that's Woody Harrelson, and like I say, he's explaining to us what they're doing, how you've seen they're poisoning our food, they're putting all these chemicals in GMO food. And, I'm trying to edge us towards medical experiments that are not being talked about, that are done to us. This chick here, 43 years old, dies after complications due to some plastic surgery. Doctors did some work on her and blew her kidneys out. And you don't know what they're doing to you whenever you're under the knife. You don't know what you're putting in there, your saline drop. I mean, I don't saying that there are, but there's plenty of instances growing up through all the years of medical tyranny through all the different companies, like the Tuskegee Project that they did to all the black people with the what do they call it, the chlamydia or something like that. Yeah, where they had to they wouldn't treat them. It was in their medical records not to treat these people. When they came in sick and had complaints about what was wrong with them, then they were pushed away and given placebo drugs and said, well, there, we'll try this here. And the doctors wouldn't treat them because it was in their medical records to not be treated. They're underneath the government experiment, and the doctors went complicit with it. And they and how they contracted the chlamydia was through possible injections at different medical procedures that had nothing to do with what they were there for. And the next thing you know, you've got problems. And this can happen to anybody at any time. And you're given a number, and you're watched, and you're going to see what's happened, because that's this ties in with what happened to the 17-year-old football player. I don't know what happened to this kid. It could have been the jab. It could have been anything. But, I I don't know what's going on with these eyes right here. That's really weird how the dude's got like eyeliner on and he's letting it run all over his face. And that's just weird. There's so many weird things behind all the new stuff that we see, propaganda. So there's no telling what kind of operation could be taking place psychologically to convince us to do something. So we have to be very aware of what's real and what isn't. But we do know that the deaths are real, that are occurring quite often and for some odd reason. And nobody can quite put their finger on it. Wink, wink. And so think about that. Think about the chemtrails, what Woody Harrelson's talking about. 17-year-olds just checking out. This woman here looked pretty healthy until she went for just a simple procedure. And there's Terry Crews. Terry Crews. So this was the video I wanted to show you real quick. And then we're gonna leave out on something. I'll leave you with some lulls there. I'll leave you with some lulls but this is sad. And that's true. And I want you to watch this real quick. It's very, very, very riveting.
Thank you for your question, Senator. Anywhere where there is a power dynamic is where this problem is really rampant. I've seen it in sports. I've seen it in politics. I've seen it with a racial component. I've seen it with economic components. And Hollywood definitely has been a problem area simply because there are so many people who view this as a dream. And what happens is someone has power over these dreams. And what happens is that you get tricked into thinking that this type of behavior is expected, that it's part of the job, that this harassment, abuse, even rape is part of your job description. And, I sit here before you in this committee just as an example, because a lot of people don't believe that a person like me could actually be victimized. And what happened to me has happened to many, many other men in Hollywood. And since I came forward with my story, I have had thousands and thousands of men come to me and say, me too. This is my story. But I did not have the confidence, or I did not feel safe enough to come out, because what happens is, you get blacklisted. Your career is in danger. After that, no one wants to work with you. And it is really, really important.
Got to remember to turn the microphone on. Ricky Schroeder. He's one of the people that you don't hear anything out of, and he was a really good actor coming all the way up. Just a lot of people, man. I could just go for days of people who turned away from that and didn't want anything to do with it. And yeah, here we go.
Important, I feel, to keep this conversation going. And another thing is, I heard time and time again about the rights that my predator had, but I was never told about the rights that I had as a survivor. And that was the wake-up call that I knew I had to be a part of what's happening here today in regards to the Sexual Assault Survivors Bill of Rights, because now if you know what you can do, you can actually do something about it.
Senator Feinstein.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Cruz, I'd like to just continue where the chairman was in his questioning. So this happened to you at an event. Was it a single instance, or were there more instances?
So obviously, that's the worst thing. That's why sometimes I'm supposed to turn this microphone off and I forget to turn it on, and it'd be quite frustrating. But anyway, so Terry Crews. Now this obviously is some older video, because you can see Feinstein in somewhat of a capable state of mind. But I think I remember when this deposition was given. It was somewhere in the mid 2000s, I want to say. So it's probably 10 years ago, and he was a good actor. This guy was a bodybuilder, huge big muscles on him, He could just pinch my little head right off. But he felt victimized and overpowered by the people because of there's a lot of grooming that goes on in the Hollywood era where they actually, will break down your mental state to where you feel like you submit to these people. We've seen it time and time again with Disney actors. Look what happened to Justin Bieber. This chick right here. Watch this. Let me show you real quick what happens in a lefty run area when people just don't give a dang. And if you just have no morals, gray area of right and wrong. Here you go. Here you go. She just gonna take a big old piss right there at the bus stop. And she's gonna fuss you out for saying something. Give yourself a round of applause. Oh. All right, guys. What's her name? Britney Spears, and then Anna Nicole Smith, and all the people. They do this to these people because these people's demise creates some of the best content that makes the most money. So if you think for 1 second that it's like against the best interest of Hollywood to do their people like that, they've got more in line just waiting to come. And so, long story short, we're going to get out of here. Got a whole lot of stuff to get out. Phone's ringing off the hook, guys. Thank you so much. Please hit like, subscribe, and share, and have a wonderful weekend. You guys, I'm out.